All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I want you to have 3 tabs open. I want you to have your drawing open, I want you to have your paragraphs open, and I want you to have your canvas open to the assignments. You go to assignments and then you go to our assignment, and then when you scroll down, you can see the rubric. So we're going to go over the rubric, and then I'm going to show you how to do the rest of the steps for the drawing. So the first part is that your college has a heading that uses word art, which we talked about in the last video. It has your background shape that's a light color, which I did last time. It has a paragraph about the college itself. So this is the point where we're going to start copying and pasting from the college paragraphs work into your final. So you are going to select your first paragraph, and then you're going to hit either Command C or Control C, depending on whether you're a Mac or a PC. So most of you are working on the Dells, so that's going to be a Control C, which copies. You can also, you can also left click and copy, which will give you this option here, and then you can just click copy. So then you're going to go to your paragraph 1 block. You're going to double click so that you highlight your paragraph 1, and then you are going to hit Control or Command V. Now, if it's all, this one right now is all outside your space because the text is way too big. So I am going to highlight all of it, and I'm going to make it change the font size. So you can play with the font size as way too small. So let's try 10. That's actually a pretty good size because I need to make myself some room for some other things. So then I can play with this, and I kind of like that shape, so I want to make sure that my box shape follows it. So you can just kind of grab those corners. You can also click away and then click 2 and see how I get that little X? That X means I can move it, so I can move it so that it's lined up. Alright? I don't know why there's that's there. Alright. So now, that's paragraph 1. So I'm going to do the same thing with paragraph 2 and 3. So I'm going to go over here. I am going to select that paragraph. I am going to Control C. And then I'm going to go to paragraph 2. Highlight. Paste. So now, once again, I keep making mistakes. I am going to highlight, and I'm going to change the size of the text. So right up here, 10 was the other one, so maybe I want to make this one 11, so it's a little bigger. So you can play with the different sizes. Not all your paragraphs have to be the same size. So then I can kind of play with that, and I can make it fit in the space here. So now I'm leaving myself some space for some images. So now I'm going to go do the same thing with paragraph 3. Control C, highlight, Control V, highlight, change the font size. So maybe I don't think this paragraph is quite as important. I'm going to make it a little smaller. And then I'm going to make my box a little smaller. And maybe I move this one kind of here, and maybe I decide. So this is the point where you're going to start kind of looking at how these boxes look together. So maybe this one I make a little bigger, because that's a little bit more important. Let's go back to 12. There we go. And so that I have those paragraphs, I have plenty of space for my images. So let's go back to the rubric. What kinds of images am I going to include? So I have the 3 paragraphs: a paragraph about the college, a paragraph about the students, a paragraph about applying. You're going to notice that the 3 images you're going to include are kind of going to go with those paragraphs. So it's going to have an image that shows part of the campus. It's going to have an image that shows some part of student life, and it's going to show some image about the majors. Okay, so you are going to go to your college website. So now you can go to your college's website. You can also do a Google image search if you would like. But sometimes your college website might be a little easier. So I'm looking for an image about the college. So I'm going to go to About Micah. Let's see what kind of images they have for theirs. Let's see. So maybe campus and student life. There we go. So I could pick an image like that. There doesn't seem to be a lot of images on this. So I think I'm going to go to Google image search. And once Google pops up, I am going to type the name of my college. And then I'm going to click images. So there we go. There are some better images. So now I need to find an image that I like about that campus. So you could pick something like this. You also may want to look at the dimensions of it so that it kind of fits in the spaces that you have. So let's see. I kind of like this one because it's got the name of the college. It's got a nice little shot of the college. So then I'm going to click View Image. And then I'm going to click up here and once again Control Copy. Then you are going to come over here, Insert Image. And then you're going to click By URL. And then you're going to click Control Paste. So then that image should show up right down here and you can select. So now that I have this image, maybe I want this image to go here, which means that I need to change the dimensions of this box. So you're going to be changing the dimensions of these boxes quite a bit. So maybe I move this over here because I kind of like how that looks. Alright, so I have my first image, so now I need to go and find the next image, which is going to be some part of student life. So let's go back. And let's see. First you can check here and see if there's some kind of image that shows student life. That image could work. So it's got a person talking about their artwork. Well, actually it says pre-college, so that's not actually about the school itself. So I got to make sure that I'm picking an image that actually represents the school. Now what I may want to do is come up here and click Students. And, ooh, there's one. And maybe not. Let's see. Ooh, there's another one. There's an opening. So there's an opening at an exhibit. That's part of student life. So I can click View Image. Same thing. Control Copy. Control Copy. Come in here. Insert Image. Control Paste. There's my image. Select. Now, if this image is way too big, and it's also got this randomness in the top. So what you may want to do is come over here. I'm trying to remember image. Nope. Cancel. I'm trying to find the crop tool. Now, you can resize the image by dragging from the corners. Always drag from the corners, because if you drag from the inside, see how that just mushed the image? You don't want to mush the image, so you always want to drag from one of the four corners. If you want to rotate your image, you can click this thing here, and you can kind of have something going a little wacky, so going at a different angle. You can also do that with one of your paragraphs. You don't like any of that, you can always do that. I'm trying to find crop image. So it's under Format. Format, Crop Image. So now that gives you this black line around it. So there, if you want to get rid of some of that top part and make it a little bit more like this, maybe I want to get rid of this kind of blurry girl over here so that it's just that image. And then you hit Enter. So now that image is a little bit better sized. And then I can click and move it and kind of shrink it a little bit. Okay, so maybe I take this. So now is the point where you're going to start playing with, maybe this I need to make a little wider, because if I make it wider here, there's more space for that image to fit. When those red lines pop up, that means things are aligned. That's going to help you too. So that means it's aligned at the top of there. That means it's aligned at the bottom of there. And that means it's, I just got it to pop. There we go. That means it's centered on each other. So there we go. So I kind of like that. Now maybe I take this one, this paragraph, and make it really wide so that I can make it really narrow. And then I can move it down here. So see, your paragraphs don't have to be kind of boxy. You're going to be playing with, and then if I make it a little smaller, so you're going to play with those. Oop, that's too small. That's probably about right. So that those, I just did the wrong thing. There we go. So yes, undo button is your friend. Alright, so now let's scoot this down. There we go. So now that's space there, and I have a space for my last image. Now what is my last image supposed to be? Let's go back and check my rubric. So I have some image of the part of student life, has an image that shows some representation of the major, such as a student in a lab or a stethoscope. So the majors that are at MICA are design and drawing. So let's see, instead of looking up students, let's look up majors. Let's see what we come up with there. So let's see. Ooh. Maybe not. So you got to kind of find, there's something. There's a student as a painter. Let's see if we've got any others. That's once again, I'm in those pre-college pictures, so I want to avoid those. Let's see. There we go. So this person is, well, nah, I don't like that one so much. So I want, there's a student painting. So you're going to look through. Don't just pick the first image you find. I think I'm going to go with that student painting now. I kind of like that one. So you're going to click here. You're going to click View Image, and we're going to do that the same thing again. Control C. Insert image. Control V. Wait for the image to show up. Select. Format. Crop the image. So I'm going to crop it so there's some of this other stuff is out of the way. Oop, uh-oh. See, I made that mistake. I grabbed the wrong thing. So you got to make sure you're grabbing the black bar and not the blue dot. So there we go. Grab from the corner to shrink it. Now, right now, I would get a bad grade because this is overlapping this. So you got to make sure each of these things has space around it. Alright, so then I can make this image a little smaller, and there we go. Now, I could always play with these images and move them around, but right now that's not too bad. Alright, so, once again, you're going to play with, you're going to play with all of these images and where they go, and then you're going to watch the last video about citing. So, go get your images, crop them down, get them to overall be done.